and our special guest, Najia, the dancing oracle. She has a YouTube channel that we were on about a couple months ago when there was an interstellar object that appeared before our night sky. And a number of people in her community are also astrologists, and she's a medium and psychic and does readings. You should look for that,
Yeah,
the Dancing
definitely check
Oracle.
me out.
But what we wanted to talk about today is Neptune and Aries and this big event in our night sky of Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees. Because apparently, how long has it been, Najia, since
Well,
this has
it's never
happened?
happened in recorded history. So we're looking at the time of the Buddha is what they believe over, 2000 years. And the thing about that is Saturn and Neptune will often come into Aries. It takes many, many years, but but have they ever been at the pure potential point, 0 degrees Aries? And many astrologers were often saying several months ago that this never happened. But now they're starting to realize it may have happened around the time of the Buddha, which is prolific. And it would have been
2,500 years ago.
yeah, 2,500 years. And the thing about them conjunction at the 0 point of Aries, it not only affects the date February 20th, 2026, but you're going to feel the effects also when the sun enters Aries at the 0 degree point at the start of the Aries season for that astrology sign. So, when that
And that would
happens in the
be in
spring,
May,
no, no sooner. Every
April.
year it changes the
Mm.
dates because and it's also the dates are different in different time zones to a certain degree. So let's look it up for exactly. We can even look up the time that like we'll look at maybe Greenwich Mean Time, which is the UK. That is usually the standard time. So Aries 2026. All right, let's go. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking in my mail and not my. I didn't expect to have to do this. So let me just look this up because I want to give it specific.
Okay.
Every year
Well,
it's
while
different,
you
but
are, I wanted
yeah.
to mention, because you said February 20th, isn't that
February
also,
20th is the
well,
conjunction.
February 17th is the year of the fire horse in the Chinese um, astrology,
Well,
and the lunar
that's
calendar generally begins
well, that's
right at the same time. So,
3 days before. Let me just see exactly when does the sun enter Aries it's giving me a horoscope in 2026 enters.
the thing we wanted to explore is this our ancestors keep telling us that these celestial alignments are indication of a new age or a new paradigm of thinking. And I just think it's so interesting because the last time this happened was in the 1860s when the Civil War and
Yeah,
Madame Blavatsky was bringing out the ideas of karma and
Eastern concept into the West.
reincarnation, and all of
Yeah.
these things were coming to the West. And Harriet Tubman was running the
Framed.
Underground Railroad,
Right, right.
and now we're in a whole different era of technology other than the industrial age that started then. We're beginning a space age, space force, quantum computing, robotics, and
Artificial intelligence is
artificial intelligence, and so many things that are revolutionizing the way humans think. So I wanted to ask you, as planetary goddess,
mm,
to explain to us a little bit about these celestial alignments and whether or not astrology actually is not just some woo-woo science, but really does have an effect on human psyche in groups.
it does. So let me just backtrack a little bit, okay? Because you can feel the energies at different times. So this year it does enter Aries on the 21st. of March. So sometimes it might be the 20th, 22nd. This year it is the 21st of March. You will feel the effects of that on both days. The 20th of February is the big, big alignment. We expect big things to happen. There are many other things going on. But listen, the sun actually enters Aries this is being recorded on the 13th of February. So right now,
Okay.
as we're speaking, the sun is entering Aries.
And what does that mean emotionally, spiritually, on its effect on humans?
Well, it's a karmic shift, number one. There's completely different energy. It was in Pisces, right? For
Mhm.
almost 2.5, 3 years around that time. But I want to also dip back. It it was let me just think. It dipped into Aries. Let me think about. I think it was
Wasn't
in
it January
the summer
26th?
and no, so it's entering Aries February 13th and going to stay there for two and
Oh,
a half years and
okay.
until April 12th of 2028 is what I remember. And but we experienced the feeling, the vibe already in 2025. Let me look that up for you because it literally
Hmm.
was in Aries in 2025 for a few months. So it was in Saturn, the planet of illusion and imagination and spirituality, but also not seeing things clearly and being fooled. And so you would have felt the effect of that. Let me look it up because you're asking because for the sake of Saturn and Aries, let me just see the 2025 dates. I'll look it up on the
It's
computer.
interesting because I wonder if it's around the time of Three Eye Atlas, because the whole world was just buzzing about, is this an alien
Yeah,
ship? Is it
yeah.
some alien
Oh yeah.
intelligence?
Should be
Well,
worried.
Is it a karma
it
machine
wasn't
to shift the human matrix? Oh,
well, there's other things that we have to look at, but I just want to let's look back. It was what I thought around this. So May 24th to September 1st, it it went into Aries and we got the feeling of that moving forward for a while, right? We got the feeling. And then on September 1st, it retrograded. It appeared to move backwards in the sky. It didn't really move backwards. It's just from our perspective on Earth, it looked like that planet was moving backwards into the constellation Pisces. And now it's going to be in Aries long term, right? For two
so
and a
does
half
that have kind of
years.
a slingshot effect on the human psyche in some way?
Well, everyone gets a taste of what something feels like. Now, in Pisces, right? So we're going to talk about Saturn first. I know you have a lot that you wanted to know about Neptune in Aries, but since you just
But
brought up,
both. Actually, this zero
okay.
degree is super interesting.
Yeah, but you got to understand the nature of the planets first.
Okay.
What they, so there's energy associated with them. You know what I
Okay.
mean? There's energy. So
So
it's
what does Saturn signify?
Saturn is very karmic and it signifies discipline, right?
Hmm.
So it's moving from Pisces, right, into like which is all this illusion. Um, you can be conned in the Pisces vibe. You're not seeing what's really going on. And it's so beautiful for the imagination. It is beautiful for people being drawn to spirituality, but it is not great at building structures or having something with truth or getting your feet on the ground, like doing something. Like Aries, it's the sign that wants to go. It just wants to go and initiate. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So even just starting in January this year, do you feel a shift? I mean, all of a sudden around that
A
time,
lot of people we
Big,
know
big
do.
changes actually
we
seems
kind
to
of
be
coming out
happening
of the
all
we're
around.
we're fighting the illusion. Or think of all the events going on, right? We're fighting
Hmm.
that illusion, like with all the events with the protest and people seeing different things. Then we have the release of the E files. I don't want to get you flagged, but you know who I mean, the JE
Hmm.
files, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
And
Just
all
the
of the
illusion and the fools exposing themselves
Hmm.
and we don't want to
yes.
know.
Aries
Who
won't
did that?
stand for it. Aries will not stand for it. When
Mm.
Saturn moves
The
into
breaking of
Aries,
illusion, you mean? Mm.
And
it
light
breaks
being
the
shone on
illusions.
it
It wants the truth. Yeah, the
Mm.
light is shown, but it's
is
also
shown
like
on it.
it's also kind of, it's kind of forceful going into Aries, you know? Pisces
Because
is
it's
more
very
peaceful.
stark. Yeah.
It's the sign, the sign of the warrior, right? But it's a spiritual warrior. So we're entering now a this time between Neptune and Saturn, right?
So how long is that?
Well, Neptune is 13 years, Saturn is 2.5, right?
Okay. So somewhere
So we
between
have,
2.5 and 13 years, we got big changes coming.
yeah, but all the changes are happening like now, and like all the major planets are leaving, have already done this. These major planets, these outside planets that have long cycles, they've left, they've left they're left Neptune, right? So what happens is, I mean Neptune, I'm sorry. They're leaving Pisces because we've had since 2005, I believe. I think since 2005, we have had all these outer planets doing major things in Pisces, right? And that time of spirituality and imagination. Um, and it is really about everything we're doing now is like navigating this cosmic rebirth. And you have to realize that Pisces, although it's beautiful and imaginative and creative, and it has to do a lot with the media, like Hollywood, or even things being seen out there, creating a what do they call that? When you create a narrative,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Pisces will create a narrative that people follow. But now, literally, it already started. Neptune,
That's so interesting. I
the
was
veil
just
is
thinking while you were talking about that the entire financial system is being re-architected around digital currency.
it
And that
is.
began during that period. And it
Yeah, oh,
is being put in place in 2026 because the Genius Act and the Clarity Act and the tokenization of all things, real world assets, that's going to change everything beginning this year.
well, a lot of that has to do more with Saturn entering Aries
That's
because that's
interesting.
like a new structure.
Yes,
Okay.
New world
yes.
structure. Yeah, but
Hmm.
so this more is like the veil being lifted, coming out of a
Okay.
fog into your truth. So I think, yeah, so
Mm.
now I looked it up. It's been since 2003, these these influences in Pisces. You had Uranus in Pisces for a long time. You had Chiron, which is the wounded
The wounded
Wounded
warrior.
Chiron. Yes.
war, yeah.
Hmm.
And then you have Neptune, and Neptune's been there a long time. It's just finally out. So you're dissolving this veil, you're dissolving this fog, and
Hmm.
when it goes into Aries, it's like
Clarity.
Aries just will not take the BS, we'll say. The BS,
It will
to
leave the
say it
heavy part
nicely.
behind.
Or the illusion, maybe.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dense part is staying behind because it can't
Yeah,
sustain the light.
Mm.
yeah, even with just Neptune, because it's also, Neptune moving into Aries, it's really demanding accountability. But now you got Saturn there too. Saturn is karmic and disciplined, right?
Mm.
And it is just saying we are really not going to take the BS.
Well,
We,
it's interesting if you're talking about karmic discipline, because we're also at the end of the year of the snake, when the snake eats its own tail, and we
oh, I
move
didn't
into
think of that.
the fire
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're into the fire horse. So there's so many new beginnings happening
Mhm.
this year. I've spoken about
All
it on my
conjuncting in a week or so of each other.
Yes.
yeah, within a week of each other.
Mm.
Because it's so much right now. It is so much right now this week. It's gonna be so powerful. So I hope this video
Mm.
can come out sooner than later. It is
We're going
currently
to put it out right away
Yes.
because really, all of you out there, I mean, keep your prayers going, keep your meditations going. I mean, this is an activation time.
it is
Right.
an
And I believe we're
activation.
really powerful if we're
We are.
together.
The
And the
collective
changes
is
the changes, I don't know if you had that experience on your end, the changing that seems to be happening to us and to our friends and people like kind of in our orbit are changes that were needed maybe to happen, but weren't happening, and all of a sudden it's just like something opened up,
Log
a
jams are
log jam, and all of a sudden you cannot not do it because you kind of know,
momentum is
the
built.
momentum is
There you
built,
go.
and it's for your, it might be uncomfortable at first, but it's
it
you know
is,
that it's
yeah.
something that you need to go through it, and so it's like a gentle push through that it seems
The
everybody's going through in their own way.
Yes, exactly. So you're going to feel it a lot now with the discipline and the structure because today is the 13th. That is Saturn entering Aries. And more than a couple weeks ago, it entered on January 26th, Neptune entered Aries. So that's the illusion, the veil being lifted, people kind
Well,
of fighting
being
over
Mhm.
lifted.
what's reality, right? What's the reality?
You're
And then
feeling people.
Saturn's going to nail the structures, right?
Okay.
And it hasn't even moved where it's really going to make a huge difference to the 0 point
When
conjunction,
does that happen?
February 20th. February 20th. So expect massive change. And it will also reflect back as I move ahead on the equinox on the 21st, which happens the 21st of this year. So
Mhm.
when it enters Aries, the sun enters Aries, you're going to feel those energies again. Then in just a few days, we have the fire horse and the eclipse, the solar eclipse. So
An annular eclipse. That's right.
yeah,
We have
it's a
like four
major.
eclipses in
This
26.
year, yes.
Well, you know what? There's always, we go through eclipse season, right? It is kind of
Right.
a
Hmm.
big deal. It's a pivotal time. So, in the solar eclipse, we're going to experience that now, but it's, and we're
But
going
the
to
annular is
also
the ring of fire,
the
and
ring of
it's
Oh, is
fire
that
coincided with
it?
a fire horse.
with the fire horse.
So,
So the fire horse hasn't happened since 1966. They have
mhm.
the astrology changes every year. But they have different elements like, wood, earth, metal, such and
Right.
such,
Yeah,
Right.
like
Right.
Chinese acupuncture, right?
That's right. It's the
So
elements. Yeah.
this year is the fire horse. It's very special. It is the most powerful horse of change. And just out the gate, everything is really going to change on the 17th. You have not just the fire horse energy, you have this Saturn Neptune in 3 days at the 0 point, you got the horse at the gate, go, right? Like, what are we going to expect that day?
no,
Like,
sure.
what's going to happen? Like, what?
Just
I'm
get
a little
ready. Whenever
overwhelmed.
it
I'm
is,
like,
people, there's something
I'm on
happening.
pins and needles, and then I'm having dental stuff done on the 20th. I'm kind of like, oh, why do I have to have dental stuff? This 4 hour thing on the 20th is like, this is probably not a good day to do it, you know?
Well,
And oh my God. And
it's
then
a
we
big
have
change. Is it coming?
Yes.
changes come, and
I
then we're
know,
in
but
the,
honestly, it makes me wonder.
yeah.
Because it seems that there was a shift of ages around the Civil War when this big conjunction in the last house when Neptune entered Pisces. Now Neptune is entering Aries.
It
And it
was
was
in Aries
really
at
a
that point.
seismic change that happened in the
It
1860s.
was, it
And
was, it
it's
literally,
seismic now. You can even feel the momentum. It
Yes.
feels like we're
you
at a
feel
shift of
it.
ages.
We
Yeah.
are, but we're also, and the age of Aquarius, because we were in the age of Pisces. So we had so many Piscean influences feeling it before everything moves. But because now, we have, after a couple thousand years, the way the planets work when we move into an age is different than the planets go backwards. So we go from you know, Pisces to Aquarius. And more than 2,000 years ago, it was in Aries. And that age was about war. You think about everyone
Mhm.
karmic and warring, and my God and your God and this God. And then the age of Pisces is more about when Christ came in,
Sure.
and not
The
Mhm.
shortly
community.
before that, but that energy of grace, and more about spirituality, sacrifice. It was more about like sacrifice and asceticism, this like compared to other ages. But now we're moving into community time.
Right.
Now
So
we're moving into, yeah, a spacefaring civilization.
oh, that
We're
too.
moving into robotics
Oh
and
my God.
AI
Yeah,
That's
and
Aquarius.
artificial
and
and
synthetic. We're
That is
moving. There's
Aquarius.
organic and synthetic, and
and
we're
so many of us craving the authentic and craving the connection and
right.
craving the Earth Mother and
And
craving
communicating through
the
those
Earth
means.
itself.
That's right.
Communicating through those technology means. Because
Right.
yeah, so when I believe when Pluto was discovered, that's when all that technology came out. So that is a big thing about this age of Aquarius. But we also have our numerology for this year, number
Mhm.
one, number one
Okay,
year.
let's talk
It's
about
all
that.
new beginnings, all new beginnings. So that is the collect, everything's a new beginning this year. Everything, 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 everything. Everything lines up for new beginning. It's not just a 0 point. It's the fire horse. It's the it's the it's this age of Aquarius, this new age feel.
You know,
We
you
have,
touched my heart with that one because I memorized it when I was in high school.
oh my God, you
Harmony
did
and
love that?
understanding, sympathy and trust abounding, no more faults or derision, golden living dreams of vision, mystic crystal revelation, and the mind true liberation. And
Which is
that's
a
all
Aquarius.
I've been trying to go for the
which
age
is
of
a big
Aquarius
deal,
ever
which is a
since.
big deal that many, more than 50 years ago, right?
Right. I mean, they were so
Yeah.
ahead of the time. Wow.
So, there's other aspects going on planetarily, and I study astrology, but I am my profession is psychic medium and dance teacher. I'm a dancing oracle. I'm not an astrologer, but I follow astrology like crazy. I do numerology as well. And I'm into all things mystical and putting it all together and thinking about it. So this is number one year is when the collective consciousness, if you add up 2, 0, 2, 6, right? That adds up to 10. The
Which is number
numerology,
one.
yeah, number one. So we're in a number one year. And think about the previous years. I go back, oh my God, I go back and you can think of the collective consciousness. Last year was a year of endings and tying things up, and also kind of feeling a little isolated, individually, you know. Like even if you
Yeah.
had plans to do things with friends, like somehow think about your life, like you couldn't. Like what just a weird year. I
A
talked
lot
to
of alone
everybody.
time
That's
last
It
year.
true.
was, yeah, a
That's
lot of
true.
a lot of people had a lot of alone time. And the
Mhm.
year before was like feeling more empowered, for most people. And there was power structure issues going on. The year before more spiritual. The year before that, more responsibility. Year before that, a lot of clash, change, things like that. Now we're entering new beginnings, new starts, complete new way of thinking, beginnings. Now,
Complete new financial system
that
globally.
too
Absolutely.
is a big one
Absolutely.
Globally.
In brand new
globally.
infrastructures
And it's
for
literally launched at the end of January 2026. So literally we're right in the middle of a brand new, and it's interesting too that it's called the Clarity Act.
Wow.
yeah.
Just because there is finally clarity on, okay, how exactly is digital currency and crypto going to fit into the global economy, and what are the rules
Yeah.
for anti-money laundering and all that stuff. So that's all been set up now. And it's
Yeah.
just now really becoming a with derivatives and options markets and tokenization and
But if you want to talk about big, massive changes, you have sort of the old wealth, like could be the
That's a
royals,
big one. That's a
the
mm-hmm.
old wealth is still
Mm-hmm.
there, but it didn't want to play into the new world, and that new world sort of started in parallel, and they were like, "No, this has never happened. This is the Wild West. It's gonna crash and burn and
but there
everything."
does seem to be a fight between old money and new money.
The old money, if it wants to continue to live, has to go onto the new rails because the old rails are basically ending, and I mean, it's a matter of time. And so that shift is happening, and a whole new infrastructure that was, budding next to it in parallel is now where everybody's going.
But it is
And so
very
that's
much the
it.
Wild West.
I'm just saying it's really that yesterday and tomorrow. We're now, but we can see how that's changing very rapidly, and within less
It's
10 years it
really
will be
akin
unrecognizable.
to the steam engine. When
Yeah.
the train
Yeah,
came through,
yeah,
my ancestors
Everything
were on the
changed.
wagon
that's
trains.
right.
And when this train came through, the world with the
Yeah,
United States was connected
that's right.
and
Yeah.
And
people could move freely.
that's
And
great.
once everything's connected, people can move freely. That's what's happening with money
And goods.
right now.
Yes, that's right.
No, but I mean currency and what is value and how value is exchanged
Right.
and how trade happens accordingly, how humans can freely exchange with
Sure.
one another, peer to
And
peer.
now peer to peer without a middleman,
That's
without a
going to
bank,
change
without a
the
Yeah, without the
broker,
infrastructure.
banking system. Yeah.
without
It's
You were
going to
telling me
change the
crypto, you
world
could just go
fundamentally.
back to just send it to each other
But think
without
about
any
it.
bank.
The blockchain will be used not just for money and trade. Voting will be on the blockchain. All the things that we've been worrying about, corruption and everything
KYC,
like
the
that,
whole identity.
it's all transparent. So eventually, as we evolve, we're like, you know what? Let's just all be on the blockchain. That way, there will be no temptation to try to,
And
rig
because
the
it's
system.
transparent, you don't have to worry about nefarious stuff because
Exactly.
it can be tracked.
Exactly.
So it becomes a
Yeah.
public ledger of financial transaction.
That's
Which is
correct.
good. Very good. But
Yeah.
That
there's
means money becomes open and transparent, and that's never happened in human history,
That's correct.
really.
That's correct.
So that's super interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, where we are economically at this time when the planets are aligning, at this time when the prophecies all said there would be a time when the planets would align, when the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars and peace would guide the planet and all that.
yeah.
They said it was going to happen, and
Yes.
here we
And
are.
we're in it.
So, yes, is there chaos? Yes. Is there an unravelment of everything we have built heretofore? Yes. And that's ugly, and it's got a lot of conflict in it, and there's a lot of power struggle, and people taking advantage, like you said, old money and new money, and
However, just like right before giving birth, the mother, my
the
friend
grandmother.
Misty was telling me that when a woman is, we don't know because we don't have any children, but I was told that when a mother is about to give birth, if she does not, she thinks she's going to die, but if she doesn't surrender, the body doesn't relax to give birth to the new, that everything is cramped up. So she has to go, I'm just going to let go, and that's when the baby can come out. We're in that phase, our growing pain of all of our systems that are, had their time. They work for their time, but they're for that particular time. We're moving in a different era, just like we're talking about planets and everything like that, that had different frequency, energy, and new possibilities. And because of that, a lot of the old stuff that is imploding naturally because it's at the end of its
It
life
is imploding.
cycle.
Yeah.
And the new ones are budding, little, sprouts are budding or coming on next to it, but
But
it's all
isn't
for
it
it's all for
weird?
that.
Isn't it weird the same conversation of the Civil War about the Emancipation Proclamation
Sure.
and whether or not freedom should be given to all?
Yeah.
I
And
know, isn't that crazy? You wouldn't think that
right?
that would be an issue,
But
but
here we are in that theme again.
Yeah.
And those of us
yeah, that's
that
Neptune and Aries. That's Neptune and Aries.
right?
There you go.
Freedom. What does freedom really mean? And what is the freedom of the soul?
And how in this time and age, you have to have armies and things like that. Each soul, each individual can stand for the light, for what, it believes and hold that light and with billions of people on the planet, that whole discussion is no longer politics. It's no longer, it becomes the value and the ethics that we stand for.
Yeah, but all the psychics are saying we have this bifurcated world. And I
Yeah.
really think that this
Well,
bifurcated world is the world of old power, structure, and control, or the world of open transparency and free exchange.
mhm.
And that we're really, I mean, in thought and in, it's not just in money, it's in thought,
Yeah.
in
It's in thought. Now
exchange.
this it is in thought. It is in thought. Now remember what I said about coming out of Neptune and Pisces now.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because we're leaving that fog. We're leaving that veil. The veil is gone. The veil is
Yeah,
gone.
like we thought we had made all this progress and racism was over and
Oh,
we had somehow solved these horrible problems that society had.
So now we
well,
have to deal with
And now we have to raise its ugly
what we
head
have.
again and make a better union again.
yeah. We must keep reinventing ourselves as we are evolving.
And the grandmothers are the ones that remind them.
That's right.
Grandmothers like Harriet Tubman, grandmothers like Madame Blavatsky,
Yes.
grandmothers like Helen Samuels,
Yes.
and
Like, yes. Yes. Many
the
of
old
those who
ladies
came
come along and
before
go,
us.
"You kids just get along."
So are you gonna do something for each of these ladies on
We
your
are,
channel?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
We
would be
want
so
to
lovely.
sing the song of the unsung shero,
Yeah.
the women who have literally changed the infrastructure of human exchange.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, the women's story get left behind, all of the killers and conquerors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we feel a need to bring out my two great grandmothers. One was a sister wife, and one
Oh
was
yeah, I forgot you're
yeah,
so
and
you
one
were a
was a
descendant
mail
of
order
Joseph
bride.
Smith.
Right.
And so are you a victim of circumstance or master of destiny? And at the same time, here was Madame Blavatsky bringing karma to the West.
Traveling to the Asia by herself and having learning things that not even men of the time knew in the Western world and
Yeah.
bringing it back. I mean, it's just
And Harriet Tubman, she was like escaping all these people on the Underground Railroad before the
yeah,
Emancipation Proclamation
that's
even
right.
happened.
Yeah,
So I mean, there were a few women that have literally changed everything.
Yeah,
everything.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Had they not
Everything.
That's
stepped
right.
up, they stepped
Yep.
up in a big way, in a
Mm-hmm.
really
Thank
big
you
way.
to the grandmothers.
Yes,
And thank you to all of us as older women who can wisely tell our audience, stay tuned because there's good things happening too.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a
Absolutely.
lot of shifting, literal
Yeah.
shifting too. Literal shifting that the astrologers are also predicting, and something I saw in a vision, underwater shifting thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I have had other psychics on my channel talking about what we're seeing and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And but this is also the time to take advantage of change, to
We're
embrace
in the
it.
shift of ages.
Because the
Yeah.
momentum is there to help you change.
I
Yes.
think
It's
so.
there for the collective, but it's there for the individual as
Yes.
well. There's so many
Yeah.
things. So is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
No, I think we should wrap it up. It was a beautiful discussion. I just wanted to bring you back on because we began this whole
I
thing
know, a
with
three-eye
Three Eye
atlas.
Atlas
Yes.
in on November 11th when all of this
Oh,
crazy
11/11.
11/11.
1111, the 1111 portal really
Oh,
seemed to
yes.
be like this consciousness shift. And it seems that these planetary alignments that have
Right.
been prophesied are happening right now. And I don't think it's any accident that they happen to coincide with all of these massive shifts in human capital,
For sure.
in how human trade is going to be done,
Right.
in how human thought is going to be exchanged.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought is a big currency, has been a big currency
And it
from the
will be
beginning.
in the future.
Energy follows the thought. That's how we create.
Yeah,
So it's everything.
yeah.
Energy in motion.
And
Okay,
so if
well,
any,
thank you for
Oh, it
being
was
yeah,
with
my
us.
pleasure. If anyone wants to see the interview I did with Pam and Sophie about Three Eye Atlas, hop on to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. And
Yes,
yes,
the Dancing Oracle with Najia
yeah, come on and
is her
subscribe. We have a
channel.
nice community there. It's all free to subscribe. Love to have you in, see you in the comments, and see you on the live streams.
And absolutely take advantage of a reading from Najia on the
Yeah,
Dancing Oracle site. She has links in her bio.
I have
yes.
links, and I also have workshops. I have a $50 off sale for my deep dive reading right now, and I also
Okay.
have psychic development workshops. I have one on clairaudience, one on seeing auras, and one
Okay.
on chakra alchemy. And I've taught these so successfully with 100% success rate. I'm always surprised when I take these small groups of 12 people, how much benefit people get in like one night accessing their
Yes,
divine
take
right
advantage of that.
abilities.
Yes,
Look
Yeah, I
for it.
really, it's my mission in life to help everyone wake up their their divine right abilities. That everyone has psychic abilities. It's they're that's your guidance system, you
I
know?
think more and more people are waking up to their inner tuning ability. And
Yeah.
that's really what you're trying to help people do. So,
I am, and the energy's there now. There's energy happening now. It has been, but even more so now, for people to open up to that and receive it. Like their gifts
hmm,
are going to come in easier now. Everyone be aware of that. And don't think, you have to adjust to that feeling. It's different. You have to
yeah,
vibe high, you work on yourself, you live in gratitude. You want to bring in good energy as you develop your gifts. Yeah.
yes.
all of us need to remind each other every
And
day.
stay positive, look for the light, stay positive, look for the sign.
Yeah,
What you
thank you.
focus on expands. Be careful what you consume, what you read,
Yes, that
what you
too.
watch, what you listen to, what
Definitely.
music you even listen
Watch
to.
more Dancing Oracle.
And what is the
And
article?
come belly dance with me if you want to do something really different
Very different.
from this channel. Yeah, but it's very divine feminine energy,
Yes. Yes.
belly dancing. As you know, you have another belly dance friend as well. So,
Oh,
Yes.
you've been an Oracle for a long time.
That's right.
all right. Well,
Oh,
thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much
being
for
with us.
having
We really
me.
appreciate it.
yes.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of us out there looking to find others that actually care about what we're going through.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay
Take
tuned.
care.
Okay.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.